Is that a trick question? This man was a bona fide scrub. Bona fide scrub.
This dude, I believe he's a bona fide superstar right now.
Right. Oh, well, of course, it's all about winning, baby.
Yeah. And DeAndre Ayton made a huge leap last year. The addition of CP3 obviously has been fantastic for his career. Found out that contract talks between him and the Phoenix Suns have stalled, I believe is the term they've used. He's eligible for a $172 million extension. Where do you think both sides... So where do you think the Phoenix are coming from in terms of their argument as to why we're hesitant to give you the full rookie max extension?
Okay, so... I think DeAndre Ayton really was only good for the last half of last season. I don't think he had a great first half of the season last year. In fact, you could almost say his whole regular season, it wasn't outstanding. You know, what was it, 18-8 or 18-9? Like, it's, you know, it's okay, but, you know, it's probably what you expect out of a number one pick in their third season. That's obviously developing. But I thought he obviously made a massive jump in the playoffs. Maybe they want to see a full season of that dominance that he showed at times in the playoffs. Maybe they want to see that across the course of an 82-game season and then obviously into playoffs again, which you assume they'll make. The other thing is there's a difference between what a team is willing to pay and what the rest of the league is willing to pay. So is DeAndre Ayton a max-level guy? I can see why Phoenix would say no. I don't think max-level guys should be for top 30, probably top 40 players in the NBA. Is DeAndre Ayton a top 30 player in the NBA? I don't think so. So I can see why they don't want to give him a max. But as DeAndre Ayton, you look around the league and look at your fellow draft class and just think to yourself, hang on, Michael Porter Jr. just got 5 years, 207. Now, we know some of that's not guaranteed. He's got to make all NBA teams and all-star teams and whatnot. But let's just say 5 years, 207. Michael Porter Jr. just got that money. I think I'm at least on par with Michael Porter Jr., if not better at this stage. So, therefore, surely I'm worth a max contract. Isn't that... That's what I would be saying if I'm DeAndre Ayton. So, at the end of the day, someone is going to pay DeAndre Ayton a max contract. And if I'm the Phoenix Suns, stop trying to fumble this. Like, you're being stupid. You're being stupid if you think that no one else in the league is going to give DeAndre Ayton a max contract. Right now, you're just trying to... Yeah. Again, it's a game of chicken between the player and the organisation. And I just don't get it. Stop trying to fumble the situation. Just give him a max contract and get it over and done with. Because otherwise, what's going to happen is we're going to get to free agency. Someone is definitely going to give DeAndre Ayton a max contract. And then Phoenix are going to have 72 hours whether to match it or not. And they're going to match it. Are they just going to let DeAndre Ayton walk next season? A former number one pick from 4 years ago, who showed what he just showed in the playoffs last season? It's not going to happen. They're not going to let him walk. So why don't you just get it over and done with now? It's frustrating. You're a mid-market team. You're not a big-market team. It's not like if you let DeAndre Ayton go, you've got LeBron James walking back through the door in free agency because you're a huge market and you can attract all these massive big-name free agents. You're not the Lakers. You're not even the Knicks. You're not even the Clippers. You're not the Warriors. When was the last time they signed a massive big-name free agent? Not for a decade. Not for a decade. They traded for Chris Paul. Cool, great. That was a trade. That was not even a free agent signing. So stop trying to be stupid about it and trying to bluff him into signing anything less than the max. Because the other thing is, it doesn't matter. It's the optics about it as well. It doesn't matter if they offer him $50 million less than the max or $5 less than the max. He wants to be known as a max contract player. And if I'm DeAndre Ayton, I'm looking at what every other player in my draft class is getting in terms of, I just saw Michael Porter Jr. get 5 year 207. Therefore I'm a max contract guy. And I'm not taking $1 less than the max contract. So that's just my thoughts. I think Phoenix, you just had this great season where you made the finals. You probably should have almost won the championship. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's 6 games. It's first of all.
That was a massive rant, but I'm pretty passionate about it.
No,
like, I just think they're fumbling. If I was a Phoenix fan, I'd be pissed off. I'm pissed off, and I'm not a Phoenix fan. So anyway,
you've covered all my points. I want to be honest with you. The first one, Robert Sarver, I believe, the owner.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Apparently, he's got a track record of being notoriously cheap. Apparently, the Phoenix Suns with the Steve Nash and Murray Stoudemire could have been championship teams, but he just would not pull the trigger on extensions or whatever, and he has been notoriously cheap. So it's a bit weird, though, that he's being notoriously cheap about a franchise centre like this.
A number one draft pick.
I can see a number one draft pick, no less. The big market thing that is absolutely massive. You are not getting any superstars coming to Phoenix Suns unless things would have to go really, 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 really well for something like that to happen. The only scenario that I could imagine is the fact that you said he's only been good for the last half of last year, I think. And a lot of what he does, I reckon 70% of what he does, the run and jump, run the floor, protect the rim, rebound kind of guy, you can actually get that from, you probably find a big man for $10 million, but you're doing these contracts on potential and nothing else. And DeAndre Ayton played an integral role in your run in the playoffs. Remember that game winner he had where they threw it over the backboard and he dunked it as a game winner? He's a big man you can keep on the floor. He's incredibly young. And how much he has developed, defensively especially, I think is, I don't know why this is even a discussion. And if you're going to spend, you're going to have to spend that money anyway. So why not spend it on someone as great as he is? The CP3 thing, obviously CP3 makes most big men look absolutely incredible. He made Clint Capella look like a defensive player of the year, and DeAndre Jordan was all NBA. I will never let that go. So I think I can see the arguments, but I think this is something for who you are, where you are as a team as well. Do you think the Mikal Bridges, the Cam Johnson aspect is playing a factor? Because they're due for their contract.
No, so Mikal Bridges is in the same situation where the contract discussions with him have also stalled to a point where they haven't been able to reach an agreement. Now, Mikal Bridges is more of an interesting one because, to me, DeAndre Ayton is just a max guy because he'll just get a max from someone and Phoenix can't afford to let him go. So he's just a max guy. Hurry up and do it. Get it over and done with. Mikal Bridges' situation, a little bit different because Mikal Bridges is not a max guy, but again, how much will some other team offer him come free agency? There's some desperate teams out there, and Mikal Bridges was really good in the playoffs. And he's the kind of 3-and-D guy, athletic, can kind of, backdoor cuts to the rim and whatnot. Really nice player. Now, is he ever going to be an all-star? Probably not, would be my answer if you had to put a gun to my head right now and ask me. Is DeAndre Ayton going to be an all-star? I think he will. And therefore, that again strengthens my case. He should be a max contract because I can see him making multiple all-star games throughout the course of that contract. Mikal Bridges, not so much. So, I guess my question to you, I mean, he's still a year away from free agency, but what is Mikal Bridges right now worth to you? If you had to put a dollar figure on it, if he's not a max guy, he can sign a 4-year contract extension. What is he?
Mikal Bridges. Because, that Swiss Army knife type of small forward is absolutely wonderful for any championship teams. And, you saw the potential there. What could Mikal Bridges sign? Do you reckon he's a $100 million player?
4-year 100. Yeah. I think a team. I think a team would give him that. I do.
A team
will give him that. So again, it's a situation where if you're Phoenix and we get to free agency and he signs an offer sheet with another team 4-year 100, are you matching it? I don't know.
I reckon your Phoenix, you don't have you've fallen short so many times, and surely history, because he's been the owner for a decade plus, I believe, and falling short this, and you're within a few games of winning this. So it's more because every other team is going all in and banking on that team chemistry going along, and I worry what that chemistry will do. Stalling this, what this will do for chemistry, because obviously you can tell they love playing with CP3, the steps they've developed, and you as the owner, I guess, messing it up again. I reckon fans will revolt. 10 years of him falling short because of their owner. So.
Yeah, all I'll say is, do you think there's more risk in giving Michael Porter Jr. a max contract or DeAndre Ayton a max contract? Because I think it's obvious.
More risk. MPJ.
Yeah, clearly. And yet Denver ownership...
Injury history as well?
Injury history, I think, to be fair, I will say, I reckon MPJ might have a higher upside than DeAndre Ayton, but DeAndre Ayton doesn't come with the injury risk. He's also, so far in his career, been a better player. He's a proven playoff performer last season, as we haven't seen that from MPJ.
In his first playoffs.
Yeah, in his first playoffs. He'll only build and get better on that. Yet Denver are happy to give MPJ 5-year, 207, and Phoenix are balking at giving Ayton a max contract. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And it just screams that despite the success they had last season, this ownership and this management still don't really... I don't know if they don't trust this playing group from getting to that position again, or maybe they're just cheapskates. I don't know, but yeah.
I'm just thinking of myself as DeAndre Ayton. What the playoffs I've just given you, and the fact you have to hesitate screams a lot to me. I would be almost the fact that we're even having this discussion as a play. If I come to the guess negotiating table, the fact you even have to hesitate to sign me for what I've done,
I think it's
what's your alternative? What's your alternative? Not pay him and possibly.
Well, you just let him leave, and you get to tell your fans, "Oh yeah, I know we drafted this guy 4 years ago as the number one overall pick, but we've just let him walk to another team." And who knows what he'll end up? He might be a multiple time All-Star, but we just didn't want to give him that max contract, so we'll just let him leave. Just get it over and done with.
Well, Devin Booker's been so loyal to you as a franchise, and I think he would look sideways and think, "Are you
what
serious?
Are you doing? Yeah,
You actually said, what are you doing?"